you doing today? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Doing well, making it happen, training every day, working hard, just getting ready for competition.
Yeah, I'd love to just start by just hearing like a brief breakdown of how did you get into mixed martial arts and why did you exactly decide to turn pro?
Yeah, I've been around the sport for since I was a child. I was started off in Taekwondo. Then my mother and they transitioned into boxing some over here at Richard Steele out in Las Vegas. Uh, I tried that and dabbled with that for about a year or so, and then eventually I transitioned into the MMA field at Tap Out around 2007, 2008, I believe, under the Team Tompkins. I was with them for about a year or two in the beginning, and then after that, my life went in a little different direction. I went to Kentucky with one of my girls that I used to was dating at a young age, and I was out there for about 3 years. So when I came back, I was inspired to get back into it, but then again ran into another roadblock in time, trials and tribulations in between of that, and then 2019 I came back full time at Syndicate MMA and just fully pursuing and committed wholeheartedly into the process and into my career, building it from the ground up. Uh, as far as at one point, always my image in my mind always been to go pro and be one of the best mixed martial artists in the world. That was always one of my ideologies when it comes down because I studied more. I got into martial arts more of in the spiritual aspect of it,
Mhm.
like the Buddhism and all of that when it was coming in just synergy when it comes to the mind, body, and spirit. And then so once I transitioned and once I got this opportunity to go after my dreams and ambitions again, I was gonna go ahead and go full. I wasn't a kid anymore, so I knew exactly where I would direction I wanted to go and face and head towards. So after I had a couple amateur fights, I already kind of knew with my level of skill set and my composure that I'll be able to transition that into the pro league. And then so through time and through skill development and working and training, built that confidence to go ahead and take that next step to pros to go ahead and make a career out of it.
And how would you say that MMA has really kept you on the right track of life? Because I think no matter what path you took in your life or where you're from, we're all one or two mistakes away from going down a bad
Yes.
path. So how has MMA kept you on that right path to, just being a better person overall in life?
Right. Well, I mean, MMA is a big aspect in my life, and especially in the area of saving me and focusing my attention and my energy in the right direction. It teaches
Mhm.
you naturally discipline, consistency. If you have those things and trust in the process, that eventually something will build into a higher opportunity. So as far as it's just the focus, it's because outside of any sport or any job that you may have, it's the people and individual that you surround yourself by, and also the focus that you place in your energy and your attention to. So with fighting, it just allowed me to focus all of my energy into the sport and self improvement because I think fighting and all that it makes you better as a person.
And so you have so much time left in your career, long road still to go. But at this point, do you believe that you are on track for the expectations you had for yourself when you did turn pro?
Uh, yeah, but I would say like anybody, you would think that you probably get there and reach there a lot sooner than with what the process takes, right? So I may have thought maybe a year or two sooner than I'll be in a bigger and a better opportunity, but pretty much it's going pretty much going on the same timeline that I put out for myself in different areas and what I'm trying to accomplish in my career. And from the beginning to the end, it's almost it's a process and it's almost a script that you got to curate in your mind and then you also got to put the work in too in order to make it come to fruition.
And so I saw you had about a near 2 year layoff after your first loss. What was the reasoning for that? And how did you grow as a fighter during that time?
Well, the layoff only happened because I was forced to sit down. So after my last decision loss against Arnessa Rodriguez, I had got a small injury. It was but it wasn't nothing that it wasn't traumatic to where it took me out of the game completely. So I did some rehab on my legs and on my shoulders because I already had, during our sports we have to be get used to the injuries and fighting through the injuries and working out through the injuries. There's a difference between being hurt and being injured. So one of my coaches always told me, if you hurt, then you could probably still continue to practice and continue to work on your skill development. Now, if you're injured, is another thing. You got to sit down and take that time. So at that time, I was injured. I had to go through and work through different insurances and everything with the surgery and all that to where I had to do my rehab and build everything that I was overdoing with my body and my body parts. I had to go ahead and start to focus on my recovery and how to rebuild my strength from the ground all the way up.
And so how good did it feel when you did make that return, you get the win, and overall, how is your body feeling now that you had that opportunity to recover from all these little lingering injuries?
Yeah, so I mean, I felt great. It was a beautiful opportunity to get back in there again after about a little over a year layoff, and get back in there and mix it up with another wrestler as well. My opponent I had to get a switch of an opponent within a week or two, and it happened to be a wrestler, which for me, I don't really turn down too many opportunities when it comes down to like fight selections and matchups, right? But I try to play it smart because it's a career that I'm trying to build. So when I had the knowledge that he was a wrestler, I knew that the opportunity was going to come to present myself again. It's more challenging to myself to be able to go in there and execute the plans that I already had in my head and contemplating over the time, because through every loss and through every downfall or anything you have in your life, you take the little things that you may need to improve on in order to help you onto your next stage. So being able to compete against an All-American wrestler and overdo him and beat him in a decision also built the confidence up to take another wrestler or whoever they throw at me to be able to go in there and know that I'm able to defend myself and also put on the offensive side everything that I picture in my head.
And that's an interesting point because some people are, or some fighters are very picky on the regional scene, right? And they would avoid a matchup like that because they want to prevent the small chance or the chance at all that they just get held down for 3 rounds. But then at some point, you're going to have to face those problems, right?
Yes, yes. So, and that's what something I already kind of know with being a striker like myself, and I know that I got heavy hands, I got heavy feet, heavy legs. I'm just a combative individual. That 9 to 10 times, even if you're not a wrestler, you're gonna become a wrestler. So, so for me, I have to just find the confidence within myself to go ahead and put myself in the fire in the beginning of my career. So then through the rest of my career, I'm already used to the same type of fire, and I'm able to encompass it and then control the fire from the outside in, instead of trying to avoid it. And then when the fire comes, I burn myself alive. I rather learn the different dynamics and put myself under those pressures so I can always continue to grow and evolve.
Because you could always train it in the gym, but it's never really the same when you're actually in there and someone is trying to fully take your head off.
Yeah, especially if it's a mentality thing. So it's like with the wrestlers, they coming in there and they trying to close the distance 9 to 10 times. They're not totally mindset is not is to take your head off. It's more to score points and control that position. For me, I'm the man to come in to butcher you, come in to put an execution on in order to finish the fight as soon as possible. So it's really him trying to prevent me from finishing him. once you get to the mindset of understanding that, okay, different positioning and different transitions. But as long as you're working through them transitions, it helps you to be more confident and strong in these different areas to where you can preserve and you can know when to put it on and put it off. And as long as you got those type of mindset and that understanding, then the panic seems a little less. I mean, it's always going to be there, but that only makes you a stronger and a more accurate fighter, I believe.
And so how would you compare the experience you've received in your professional fights compared to training? Because you're not training at the average gym, right? That there's tons of top tier world class talent surrounded by you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, with transitioning, and that helps a lot as far as the caliber of individual that you train with. Iron sharpens iron. So for me, I'm privileged enough to be in a gym to where we have a lot of flux, different individuals that at different levels of talent in their careers. We got people that's prospects that's coming to build them their way up. I'm one of those, and I'm hungry. And you also have the people that's already in those positions. So, and if you pay attention, you're able to see what's necessary in order to sustain those positions. So, during the climb, it's all about taking the notes and doing your homework. So, when you're able to be in that position, you're not taking it for granted and you're able to execute. So, for being around these world class individuals, only help you with your confidence because if you're able to hang with them in different rounds in different areas, that it's only going to make you better.
And so, who are some of the fighters that you train with consistently? And also, if it's the same people or different, who are some fighters there that you do gain inspiration from?
I mean, over the time, it's been a few fighters because we've been in and out for a while. I've been at Syndicate for about 5 years almost now. So we've been fighters come and go, throughout the process. In the beginning, for a while, when Chris Curtis and Sean Strickland, he was there. Johnny Parsons, he was involved. Khalil Roundtree, I used to get rounds with him. Josh Quillen, I spar and train with him often, much as possible. Mitch Ramirez, he's a prospect coming up. Armandale, good wrestler. Daniel Keepers on the regional scene. These guys are just active fighters and they hungry as well. And I can go down the line. Darren Till, I had a couple rounds with him. I mean, Kevin Holland. They all know me, so they know what type of individual I am, and they know that I'm coming on the scene, and I'm very serious in the process and what I'm trying to accomplish. So with all those names, I don't really totally look at the name. We got Marab, he at the gym. We got different people that just inspire greatness, and being around in that environment only helps me to inspire the same thing.
So some of the guys you named either in the past or currently train at Extreme Couture, have you ever gotten some working over there, or are you very loyal to Syndicate?
For the most part, at this moment in time, I'm a loyal man to Syndicate, but I don't put any restrictions on my development. So I mean, I have through the community or fight community, I've accomplished got a number of friends, per se, as far as to be able to get mentorship and things from. And yeah, they're at Extreme right now. And I go bounce here and there, and every blue moon I might pop up, and I'm welcomed there in order to get a different look and more bodies, because you can be limited with your sparring partners if you just consistently there all day, every day with the same individuals, focusing on what you're trying to do. So being able to go ahead and adapt and get different people and different fighters, it also helps you to evolve as a fighter and become more, more adaptable and more just physically present in that moment.
And so how did you end up with the UFL? Was there something about promotion specifically, or was it just, hey, I want to stay active and this is a really good opportunity?
UFL, I had spoken with Rampage. He came to the gym a couple of times out in at Syndicate for a bit, but then So and Frank Mir, he always been involved. He coming back and forth at the gym too. So I knew that they had organization that they was bringing up already in season, and I had put my name out there. But then a few months passed, I stayed persistent, and eventually I had got a message back. So the persistence kept me at least in front of their mind to where they know that be looking out for me because this guy is actually willing and ready to fight. The UFL is a good organization, especially as a prospect fighter, because it gives me more opportunity to put my name out there, my brand out there, but not only for myself but for my fans. So so far I've been very impressed with their media and with their just their hands on and very kind people and a good organization to deal with. So I'm very excited to go ahead and fight for the promotion.
And so, what are your thoughts on Ray Waters, undefeated prospect? But what are you expecting from him in the cage?
Ray Waters, I mean, it's as simple as, like I say, usually it's a simple understanding of what they're trying to get to as far as their game plan is to close the distance and, trying to smother me as much as possible as a natural wrestler. Like I told you before, even if he isn't a wrestler, I'll turn him into a wrestler. So the game plan, whatever it is going to be the game plan that I created for myself. And if he good enough, he'll have to take me out that game plan. But I don't think even when I'm under the fire, I'm still, I'm still composed. So the thing is, that's the development as far as the mental development. Before, in different positions, I allowed the wrestler to win those positions. Now I can use it as far as use those different advantages to transitions in and out of the different positions and know when to put it on, when to put it off. So when it comes down to Ray Waters, I don't really look at him as a person. I look at him as competition is just another opponent that I have to, get through in order to keep climbing to the top.
And what are your thoughts on the Vega or the Phoenix versus Vegas format? Because usually something like this I wouldn't overly look into, but this is a little different because the winning team, each fighter gets with $10,000 extra.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good promotion. It's good for the sales and it makes it exciting for the community. So, and it makes us excited for the more of the fighters to go out there and probably finish the fight instead of trying to just dry hump somebody for 15 minutes. So when it comes down to the bonuses and all that, that's all good. It's part of it. I work hard in order to finish the fight, in order to get the money back. That's what I'm chasing. So with the opportunity that I got right now, I'm just going to go ahead and go all the way with it and perform at the top of my abilities. And 9 to 10 times, as long as I'm going in there with the confidence and understanding, it presents itself.
So the last question I have for you, what are the overall goals for your fighting career? Where do you want to end up, and what do you see yourself accomplishing before it's all said and done down the road?
Well, the goal is the same goal that you've been seeing, the process. I'm enjoying the processes day by day. So the biggest goal is always getting gold. You feel me? Like I said, I'm the gold man, the Midas touch. Everything I touch turned to gold. So over time, that's what automatically will happen because iron eventually will always be iron. And eventually, if I put a little gold, sell it for gold. So it's always about placing yourself in position in order to put yourself at the top in any ladder in life. So for me, I'm always heading to the top of any organization, especially in this fight game, because I do it well and I look good doing it. So I know I can get paid and always make it a show out of it and always make it entertaining.
And that's all I have for you today. Once again, I really do appreciate your time, and I hope for all the best for you in your next fight and moving forward in your career.
Iron Will, baby, and I appreciate you taking the time and giving me that opportunity to voice, a little bit of my experience to you and your viewers.
And thank you again. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, boss.